First of all, Drew, I very much appreciate you making the time for us. And I also do want to tell you I very much appreciate the fact that you have been so open about sharing your story and doing some interviews with Kellis Robinett. We saw the story there, and also the K-State Collegian. And so glad that you are feeling better and doing better and now back at home. Thank you for joining us.
No, thanks, guys. Yeah, Matt, thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. You know, it's been a long haul. It's a lot of folks just kind of look at it as a that big weird thing that's making everybody stay home and buy toilet paper. But living through it, both my wife and I really felt that it was that people need a face. I mean, that's what we do as journalists, right? We take really complicated things and we say, here's a person that's experiencing it, and that person has happened to me. And I said, well, gosh, all right, I got a story I can tell. Let's go ahead and tell it, and let everybody know that it's a big guy out there that just wants to go. It's tough.
Well, first of all, give us an update on how you are doing right now.
Oh, thanks. I'm out of the hospital, which is big. I spent 5 days in the intensive care unit, and that was in pure isolation. Where I have one doctor who visited me one time a day, and then the nurses. I had only one nurse allowed to be time to time. They would come in maybe every 3-4 hours, and other than that, it was I was the guy that nobody wanted to be around. Which is, as Mason will tell you, that's not that different than normal. But it was a scary time. It was just a really scary time. Double pneumonia, hepatitis, do other things. Those have all improved enough so I don't have to have a medical professional around anymore. So I came home yesterday afternoon. I got some at-home oxygen help for the pneumonia. The COVID just partners with other destroyers. He's a really good partner. So he partners with the pneumonia, and he partners with the hepatitis, and he partners with these other things. And so far, knock on wood, my 50-year-old body, which is in pretty good shape going in, has been able to handle it, and we're at least out of the shadow of my own goalposts, so to speak, as I'm starting to move a little bit forward down the field. Doctors have said, hey, look, we're talking months and weeks and months before we'll really say you're better. In 7 days, there's possibility we could see you right back here. So we're going to take it slow. So we're going to take it slow.
Drew Smith is talking with us. Spent 5 days in ICU after testing positive for coronavirus. What was the timeline? How quickly did you realize that this was getting serious, and how quickly did things deteriorate?
We took a bunch of students to London, and we've been planning for a couple of years, and we took 7 students, all of whom, by the way, have not shown any signs of any major signs of contagion, which is great. We were coming back last Monday, and we all felt fatigued. The whole family, my wife and my 2 children, we all felt fatigued because we've been overseas, living in an apartment, and eating weird food and whatever, and got back that Monday night, and we'd already planned to quarantine. We knew that, hey, look, we don't even know if we're sick or not or anything. We don't even feel that way, but we're going to quarantine. So we got back into a waiting car that a friend had parked at the airport. We didn't stop any restaurants or bathrooms, nothing. We just went straight home. And as I unloaded the car with the luggage, all of a sudden I got really short of breath. I was like, man, that's kind of weird. And started coughing. I'm like, boy, that doesn't taste good. And woke up the next morning and had a fever of 103. And that was a week ago Tuesday. And my wife said, you look awful, and I feel bad, and we need to go in. And so we called our primary care, got us to the emergency room. We were the first ones for them to run through that way. And they had practiced. They knew what they wanted to do. They had procedures already in place. They tested me, found I had double pneumonia already. So it had been festering, obviously, somehow before. And it finally kind of had presented to where I was just having trouble breathing. They kept me there for a couple of hours while they sent my family home, gave me some medicine, sent me home. I was home for 3 days in isolation, and it got to a point the one night before where I couldn't trust my body to go on autopilot. And you're like a normal person, right? You put your turn light off, and I was having to concentrate on every single breath, and then let my body go on autopilot to breathe, and then start awake 30 seconds later, realizing that my body hadn't signaled. So that was kind of scary. So the next morning, we actually got the diagnosis, and then called and said, "Yeah, you got to come in." They brought me in, all the people in the hazmat suits, and then that Friday, and it got worse for about 3 days. And then finally we turned the corner Sunday into Monday, and then Monday into Tuesday. And finally I was able to come home.
Drew Smith is talking with us. He tested positive for coronavirus, spent 5 days in ICU, and I think what you just said right there, what you just shared with everybody, should be enough if anyone out there listening has not been taking this very seriously. But what would you say to those that haven't been taking this as seriously as they should?
We're in a community, and everything that my family felt like we did and planned to do when we came back was for the community. When we're Americans are selfish individualists, and we need to understand that we are all part of a bigger community. When the announcement was made, the health center said, "A male 51 just came back from London." Like anybody who's at London knows that's me. My phone blew up, but I had a friend who posted on Facebook, said, "Hey, it's in our area. This is awful." And then another friend who posted under that said, "I am terrified. I am so scared." And that's why my wife and I said, we got to go public. We've got to reassure people that if you take your precautions and you do what you can and you take care of your neighbors and think about everybody else, you're going to be able to stay safe. And that, to me, is kind of the most important, is we're taking care of each other. We're all taking care of each other. The outpouring of love and just everything that has come from this has been astounding. I woke up yesterday. I came home from the hospital yesterday. 30 minutes later, the neighbor kid from down the road was mowing my lawn, who I've never talked to before. I mean, it's just crazy. Every time I come out, it seems like there's groceries on my doorstep every time I open our door. But people want to help and be those communities. Be that for your community. The other thing I would say is if you know a healthcare worker, do something for them. The healthcare workers are going to be on the front lines. We're just at the beginning, guys. I mean, I know that it feels like, we've been doing this for like 10 days. This is just the beginning. And it's going to be a little while. A little while till we're back to normal. I'm devastated that I'm not going to be able to watch the Masters. That there's no March Madness. And, I covered sport. I was a TV sports guy for 25 years. And so it's killing me that I don't have my sports. But it's absolutely what the country needs right now to make sure that we as a country and a community, that we stay safe.